everyone, and welcome to a conference semifinal edition of Instant Replay, where I give you my take on the most controversial plays from the final leg 2 matches. I'm Simon Borg. We start in Toronto, where it was a chippy affair between Toronto FC and the New York Red Bulls. We saw Sebastian Giovinco and Tyler Adams getting into it in the 5th minute, Giovinco pushing Adams, then Adams shoving Giovinco. And then the two came together again in the 33rd minute, with Adams taking exception to this foul by Giovinco. Again, no cards to either of them, but that last incident did give rise to this coming together between New York's Sasha Kljestan and Toronto's Josie Altidore. You had the push by Kljestan, and then what I thought was embellishment by Altidore. But it wasn't done there. As we later find out, the two players faced off again in the tunnel at halftime, and both were sent off by the referee Chris Penso. With both teams down to 10 men, the Red Bulls found a goal early after the break, and New York continued to push hard for that second goal that would have taken them into the next round. You see head coach Jesse Marsch here chasing down the ball boy, then chasing the ball himself minutes later. But that goal would never come for the visitors. And actually it was Toronto that would come closest to scoring. They actually hit the back of the net on 2 occasions. Here in the 78th minute, when Victor Vasquez is called for the push on New York's Tyler Adams, which cancels out that goal. With the benefit of replay, I did not think there was a foul, but I can see how it may have seemed that way to the referee, given how Adams reacts. Then Victor Vasquez thought he had scored on this quickly taken free kick in stoppage time, but the referee Penso brings the ball back, pointing to his whistle, signaling that he wanted Vasquez to wait his call before taking it. From the footage we have, we don't see whether Penso made it clear that he wanted players to wait for his whistle, and Vasquez is irate, going overboard in his protests in my opinion, but Penso doesn't book him. Deep in stoppage time, I also thought Toronto had a strong case for a penalty. New York defender Aaron Long first looks like he may have handled the ball right on the edge of the area, and then he follows that up by what looks like a push on Vasquez. Penso opts not to go to the whistle. As for Vasquez, in my opinion, he was probably lucky to still be in the game at that point. That's because it looks to me like he may have taken a swing in the direction of Adams in the 73rd minute down in the corner. But the video evidence is not conclusive. And look, nerves were frayed in this match. Toronto's Sebastian Giovinco was already on edge before halftime when he doesn't get this call. And then with 10 minutes remaining in the game, it happens again. But this time he gets a yellow card, which will rule him out of leg 1 of the Eastern Conference Championship against Columbus Crew SC, along with suspended teammate Josie Altidore. We'll see how those suspensions factor into that series. As for Crew SC, they survived an onslaught at Yankee Stadium, and they didn't help their cause when central defender Josh Williams kicks New York City FC's Rodney Wallace in the shin, leading to a penalty kick, which David Villa hammers home. And I'd argue that Wallace should have drawn a second penalty kick about 5 minutes later when Jonathan Mensah's right foot kicks and trips Wallace in the box. But referee Kevin Stott does not call it. Just before halftime, NYCFC fans had another penalty shout. They wanted a handball called on Crew SC, but I think this is a good no call by Stott, since Mohamed Abu is in his natural motion and definitely was not expecting this ball, which skips by David Villa. That's ball to hand, no PK for me. NYCFC were 1 goal away from advancing, and in the final minute of the match, there was a chaotic sequence in the box, which we'll run through one more time. First, Abu doesn't follow through on his bicycle kick clearance here, and does not make contact with Maxi Morales. Then, I thought Crew defender Jonathan Mensah won the ball fairly against Jack Harrison. But this last play by Crew SC's Lalas Abubakar was more questionable for me. We don't get a better look, but from here it looks to me like he goes in with a flying leg that makes contact with David Villa's side. Stott says no foul, and Crew SC hold on to advance. In the West, the Houston Dynamo shocked the Portland Timbers on the road and will advance to play Seattle. And the Timbers, who were already hurting big time on the injury front going into this one, well, they lost another man less than 10 minutes in when Darren Maddox was forced to leave the match after a blow to the head. That's Houston's Juan David Cabezas with a flailing arm that I thought deserved a yellow card, but referee Ismael Elfa did not show one. That was one of a handful of reckless arms at Providence Park. Here you see Portland's Vitas extending his left arm high up on Albert Ellis. No card there. And then in stoppage time, it was the Timbers' Sebastian Blanco swinging his left arm high up on Oscar Boniek Garcia. And he does get a yellow for that, but there's probably not enough force for a red card. Interesting play to look at in the final minute. With the Timbers needing 2 goals, it looked to me like Houston defender Felipe Senderos took down Portland's Jeremy Ebobisse, but Elfath awards the foul the other way. Now, had a foul been called on Senderos, and I thought that should have been the case given Senderos has his arms all over Ebobisse, it would have been spotted outside the box, and it would have also led to a potential donk-so red card discussion. But the foul here is called on the Portland player, who's lucky Senderos doesn't take him out a second time on his way up. Overall, plenty of tense moments all across these second legs, and some gamesmanship. Check out how Houston's Cubo Torres goes down on this push from Liam Ridgewell. But all that tension will only be ratcheted up further when the stakes are raised even higher in the conference championships. Until those first legs on Tuesday, November 21st, for our editor Rich Hernandez, I'm Simon Borg. See you next time!